So I've got to go find somebody because they know 300 people. And if I know somebody else, they know 300 people. If I know somebody else, they know 300 people, right? And now my database just grew about 900 people. See what I mean? Because now they know me at some level through the relationship of that person. The size of your database matters, okay? So I say that all the time, and like, how do I grow my sphere of influence database? How do I make it bigger? Because I know if you went to our SOI class, if we put them in a 40 contact plan, you're gonna get a 7-to-1 return off of everybody that you know in your SOI, right? The only way to grow that at a massive level though, is to use what? Other people's databases, right? So when you heard Robin say, hey, I needed to hire an assistant to go get more Google reviews, it's because we've exhausted our SOI. So I've got to go find somebody because they know 300 people. And if I know somebody else, they know 300 people. If I know somebody else, they know 300 people, right? And now my database just grew about 900 people. See what I mean? Because now they know me at some level through the relationship of that person. So how do we use this with social media, all right? So one of the greatest things that we can do, and this is really dear to my heart, and I say it in every class, is I think the biggest opportunity for most real estate agents is we don't use our vendors list properly, or we don't even have one, right? And so I get solo agents into my schedule, or I meet them or something like that, and they're like, hey, I'm not from here, what do I do? I've just moved to this town, I don't know anybody in my sphere of influence database, I need to grow it, what do I do? Well, we're gonna put together a vendors list, right? Which you can do that, you can do it old-fashioned ways by Googling them and meeting them and doing some things like that, which you need to do to start, but how can we 10x that? How can we make that better, right? What can you do to get more leads from their database? And we call it coming from contribution, right? Coming from contribution. I guarantee you when you start doing things for others, some magical force says, guess what? I'm gonna do something for you, right? And when I'm building a vendors list, like I said in my flip class today, man, I'm gonna give you roof after roof and gutter after gutter, and you're my guy, man, but you have to make sure that you give me a couple leads too. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And we'll have this great relationship because we're all small businesses. You're a small business, the roofer's a small business, the guy at the taco stand's a small business, we're all small businesses, right? So why don't we just start helping each other? And this is free, this is not stuff that costs money, right? So what we do is we create what I call a Facebook group, and it's called a community page Facebook group. And there's some people who've done this a lot. I know that we touched on this briefly yesterday, right? In the pandemic that happened, 2019? Yeah, 2019, right? I remember it was March, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was really upset. I thought I didn't know what I was gonna do. And so I got on the phone with Brian, and we talked about this all the time. I was like, dude, we gotta do this thing virtually. We gotta, do all this and stuff. And I was jogging one day, and I seen this sign, and I used to live in a smaller town in Texas, and now I live in Dallas, but I used to live in a small town. I saw this sign out there, and it said Burleson Strong, and it had a little realtor name underneath there. I thought, man, there's somebody doing it right. Oh my gosh, and so I called her up and I said, hey, how did you do that? She goes, I don't know. She's like, I just feel like we all need to come together as a community. I was like, I got it, right? And I said, so I called Brian up. I said, check this out. This is pretty cool, this Burleson Strong thing. He goes, I think we're onto something here. I said, this is what I've been telling realtors since the beginning of time, since I started coaching people, is if we get our community together and you become that network connection, that person that networks together, you will be that person. You'll be the most popular person in your town. I guarantee it, right? So what we did is we met up, we had everybody get a list of people, right? We worked on this, right, Tiffany? We got a list of people and we called it Business Spotlight, right? So what we would do is we'd set up a Zoom meeting with Bob the taco guy, talking about, hey, deals that he had on tacos for delivery, how you could order tacos. His tacos are the best in town, brought to you by Tiffany at TH Homes Group, right? And suddenly we're this newscaster, and we're doing this every single week. right? So we created a Facebook. This is free. We're talking Zoom. You got to buy a computer. Everybody got a computer? Right? You got to have a computer, you got to have a webcam. This is free. This is solo agent stuff, okay? Right? No one, and I'm telling you, don't trust me, no one's doing this. Well, there are people that are doing this, the ones that are making a lot of money, but most people don't do this. So we do this business spotlight, we do it every week, and now you're showing up on Bob the Taco Guy's database. You see what I'm saying? Right? He's gonna refer you all kinds of business. His staff's gonna start referring you business. You just put the staff back in business. And when it comes to coronavirus, hey, come on in, I need you to start chopping steaks up, man. We're back in business, right? This girl just reached out to all these people in the community. We tied each other together and we created that relationship. We did that through a Facebook group, through social media. It's called social media for a reason. It's social. People want to get together and get information, right? So we get a Facebook group put together, a community Facebook group, and if you don't have one, you need to, right? And some of the people that are talking say, well, I live in a small town. Well, I know people that live in Dallas, Texas with 15 million people that take a little market inside the market, and that's their community. That's where you live, right? Anybody can do this. And all you need to do is create that Facebook group and start making those connections with the vendors that you already need to be building anyway, right? Anybody in here that's sold a home before, because when I've sold a home, and as a buyer, right, I got a buyer and it's got a bad deal on it, and I need a roofer, a plumber, electrician, maybe a foundation guy. Before I can get to my truck, I've got them called. Hey man, I need to get a bid on this. We're trying to do this. I got a bad gutter. Man, this foundation guy, let's call an engineer. I'm calling all these guys before I get to my truck, right? How many times has that roofer, engineer, plumber, electrician given you a deal? Never. Most people say zero, right? Why that is because you don't have that connection with them. But it takes a lot of time to do that. So wouldn't it be a lot easier to do this on social media or correcting a Facebook group? So now that we're out the inspection with Bob the roofer, I take my iPhone out and I shoot a quick little video. About Bob the roofer, right? And Bob the roofer and I are sitting there talking, and he's talking about all his roofing and what he does. And here, man, take my phone up there. I think it'd be a cool story to put on my Instagram story about how this roof is decaying and got hail damage and stuff like that, right? Oh, I know what I can do. I can also call my buddy George, the insurance guy, maybe file an insurance claim on this thing too, right? So man, let's set up a Zoom meeting with George on here. I'm videotaping that too. Hey man, we haven't done this in a while. I've got 300 people in my database. How can you help them out with insurance, right? Well, tell me what you got going on. Tell me about your race. How they get in touch with you, right? I just gave him a bunch of publicity, not only inside my Facebook group, right? But I also did it to his people because he's seen me. You see how that all works? Social media is where it's at because that's where everybody's going. It says the average person is on their phone now checking social media 3 hours a day. 3 hours a day, okay? So what are you doing to get in front of them, right? Maybe that's a tool that you can use.